Now then, and welcome back to Rare Eddie One Talks podcast. I'm your host, Rare Eddie One, and this is episode 15. 15 already. In tonight's episode, we are going to be talking about the Alfred Burtoo encounter. And this encounter is fucking strange. But anyway, before we get into the encounter, I have myself a little drink. It's not a little drink, actually. It's quite a big drink. It's a pint. It's a 5.5. It's a 4.5%. It's a Thatcher's Haze Cloudy Somerset cider, and it's delicious. Delicious, as I just said. Like always,
advertising. Wow.
I do film these and I do put them out on YouTube, not straight away. And I've got a couple of episodes I need to get out on YouTube and Rumble, but I do film them. And so if you want to go check me out, please do. Same name, Rare Eddie One, and go over there and subscribe and like and all that good stuff, and you can check me out, see what you look like, see what I look like if you really want to, see what this voice comes out of, this magnificent voice. What does this magnificent voice come out of? Does the voice seem does the voice sound like it comes from this specimen, this creature? Definitely a creature. Maybe one you find it, in some bog somewhere, in some damp, dreary bog. But anyway, enough of the fun. I have something new. I have a new toy. I'm still learning.
But, a robot and have a drink. It's delicious.
Anyway, enough of that. I'll play around with that in a bit and have a good look at it. But let's get into tonight's episode. So this is a UFO encounter, an alien encounter, an alien abduction. The Alfred Burtoo encounter, dated August 12th, 1983. The year I was born. I know it doesn't look it. I know I'd maybe born 20 years later. I had a hard paper round, people. I had a hard paper round. So the location was Aldershot, Hampshire, United Kingdom. So this is a United Kingdom story.
More stories. More stories.
So this first bit are not my notes. So if you really want to check this out, please do. But this is a little bit of the event. Alfred Burtoo was fishing alone an isolated canal when a disc-shaped UFO landed nearby. The beings were humanoid, 4'6" tall.
Hey, short guys.
Dressed in green overalls and wore helmets with visors. The beings gestured at the witness to follow them, and he went up a stairways into the craft. He was made to stand under a amber light. The beings spoke to him in broken English, telling him that he was too old and infirm for their purpose. He was then let go. Sucks to suck, I suppose. Well, he was 77 years old at the time when this happened. So yeah, they maybe wanted him for his seed, to help with their humanoid hybrid program. But there's a couple of pictures of the spacecraft. Looks like your typical UFO, oval, lights in the center with a stairways.
Tonight, and there's a UFO in my pool. A UFO.
You don't generally see stairways. The landing legs seem a bit weird, seem more helicopter shaped. They seem more like a helicopter foot. I don't know what they're called. You know, the landing equipment. And the aliens just look like little men with helmets on, with a dark visor. So let me get into some of my notes. Night fishing. As a 77-year-old, Alfred Burtoo was fishing the Basingstoke Canal in the peaceful early hours of the morning of August 12, 1983. He saw a brilliant light descending from the sky and settle on the nearby towpath. Thinking it must be a helicopter. So, let me continue. Thinking it must be a helicopter from nearby MOD base, he took no notice and poured himself a cup of tea from his thermos flask. Then his dog, Tiny, began whining furiously, and two figures emerged from the darkness. So, before I continue... So, there's Alfred Burtoo will be long gone, bless him. I looked for notes. I did look for notes because his landing equipment he's drawn on his sketch looked like a helicopter landing. I can't think what they're called. It looked like that, and for him to think it must be a helicopter. Was there any noise? And there is a nearby MOD base. Could it be an RAF base? Could it be an American RAF base? And could they have been testing out new technologies in 1983, which wouldn't shock me at the least. So I'll continue anyway. I'll get to my thoughts at the end. They were about 4 foot high, dressed in pale green coveralls from head to foot, Burtoo told reporters. And so this is what I've got from his reporting. And they had helmets of the same colour with a visor what was blacked out. The strangers gestured to Burtoo to accompany them, calmly setting down his cup of tea. That's quite rare. Someone calmly setting down a cup of tea. You know, if you're being beckoned to something else and you're trying to have a nice cup of tea in the morning, you're not going to put it down calmly. You put it down with frustration because you're like, what the fuck's taking me away from my cup of tea? Well, anyway, generally, normal English guys would probably do that anyway. Anyway, I'll continue. The intrepid pensioner followed them along the towpath towards the saucer-shaped craft. I was 77 and I didn't have much to lose, he later explained, bless him. Inside a source, so this is from an insider source, he climbed up a set of steps into the saucer. Burtoo discovered that the ceiling was so low he had to stoop. He found himself inside a black metallic octagonal chamber which smelt slightly of decaying meat. Like I say, I'll get to my thoughts at the end. So this is from Burtoo. I did not see any signs of nuts or bolts, nor did I see any seams where the object had been put together, he recalled. What did interest me most of all was a shaft that rose up from the floor to the ceiling. The shaft was about 4 feet in circumference, and on the right-hand side stood two forms similar to those that walked along the towpath with me. One of the beings told the old man to stand beneath the orange light, which appeared to scan him for a few minutes. "What is your age?" asked the entity in a sing-song voice. Holy shit! Holy shit! Is this where the Marvels got that cringe scene from? Which sounded like a mixture of Chinese and Russian. Very interesting. When he replied that he was 78, it declared, "You can go. You are too old and infirm for our purposes." Bemused, Burtoo climbed down from the saucer and returned to his fishing spot. "The first thing I did was pick up my cold cup of tea and drank it," he recalled, "and then I heard the whining noise just as an electric generator started up, and this thing lifted up and then took off at very high speeds." Apparently unfazed by his bizarre encounter, Burtoo resumed the task at hand and got into what he had come out of, the fishing. Let me read that again. My note didn't make sense to me there. Apparently unfazed by his bizarre encounter, Burtoo resumed the task at hand. "I got into what I had come out for, the fishing." And despite his rather cut reception, he later declared his nocturnal adventure to have been the greatest experience of his life. Holy moly. Well done, you brave old bastard. May you rest in peace. Quality control. So, Alfred Burtoo is not alone in having apparently failed an alien medical test. American abductee Carl Higdon believed that he had been rejected as a guinea pig for a hybrid breeding program because his captors discovered that he had a vasectomy. Likewise, Louis Oswald, an elderly Brazilian abducted in 1979 by beings who claimed to be from a small galaxy near Neptune. A small galaxy near Neptune. Maybe the constellation Neptune, reported that she had endured a lengthy examination, then being told she was of no use. Oh dear. Well, so that was quite brave of the Alfred 78. They didn't need him for, obviously, well, I don't know why because people at 78 can still have kids. So it's unclear if he maybe had a vasectomy or just shooting blanks. But the age put him off. Maybe they have a picky woman who doesn't want to be getting with no 78-year-old. And at that time in the morning, he was the only pick for them. But that woman said, "Oh, no. Get that 78-year-old out of here. Get me some young Brazilian stud or some Italian stallion, and let's try the alien hybrid program." Kinky. Anyway, so So there is a whining noise. Now, last time I know, helicopters don't make a whining noise like an electric generator was starting up. What does make a noise like an electric generator starting up? Well, an electric generator. Could this have been us? Could this have been us, and we found this tech with this alien tech that maybe had been captured or excavated or crashed, and we reversed engineered it. We managed to get it up and running, and also with the voices of the entities, with sounded like a mixture of Chinese and Russian. Could this be the Chinese or the Russians reversed engineered? So could these be small Chinese men or women or small Chinese Russian? And they knew broken English, and they really wanted to test out the craft without they wanted to use the craft. Maybe they had to be in that suits, so maybe they wanted to try it out with someone who was just in his normal clothes and see what it had done to the human body without the protective coveralls on. If that what they were, coveralls, it could have been high tech astro suits, or it could have been one of them if it was us. It sort of does sound like this could be us. It really does. So a couple of things that need to be mentioned. So the Basingstoke Canal, which this all happened on, so it goes all the way from around Aldershot, and it goes in between both Basingstoke and Aldershot. And there is a couple of military bases around, but the one I am thinking of is the RAF base Odingham. Sorry if I butchered that. Royal Air Force Odiham, or more simply RAF Odiham, is a Royal Air Force station situated a little to the south of the village of Odiham in Hampshire, England. It is home of Royal Air Force heavy lift helicopter and Boeing Chinook, and of the King's helicopter flight. So this is probably the prime suspect. Maybe they had future tech. Maybe they had a future helicopter. Maybe that we haven't seen yet. Because again, looking everywhere to see if there was notes, if there was a noise, was interesting. But again, there's a few military bases around Aldershot and Basingstoke, and this one was quite sort of near the canal of Odiham. It's in the middle, pretty much in the middle of Aldershot and Basingstoke, and it goes alongside the canal. Actually, it's very, very close to the canal. Just my thoughts on that. So, could this base have been potentially something to do with the incident? Quite possibly. Very, really, really possible. Especially with it being an RAF base and what he had seen. If it was because there's a couple of military bases, so the army bases and cadet bases around this area, but this one Again, I think this was us. Maybe we had future tech and we were trying it out. Maybe we had reversed engineered craft and we fucked about with it and we fucked it up somehow. Or we wanted to fuck about with it and we wanted to take the old guy and see, well, we wanted to take a human in human clothes and see how his body would react to the G-forces or the acceleration. But obviously, a 77-year-old, it wasn't going to be good for him. But yeah, I thought that was definitely interesting. With the sketch, I will try and add these to my notes. The sketch, it looks like I can't think what they're called. What the helicopter lands on, but that's what that looks like. It's exactly what that looks like. It's got a little curve at the front. You don't see the back because the sauce is covering the back, but that's exactly what it looks like. Now, there's a better picture. There's an artist interpretation of the picture, and that does look a little bit better, but you can't really get at the legs. My thoughts are, as one brave son of a bitch, Alfred, getting in. I know you're old, but you still he was still a brave son of a bitch. And cheers to you. I think this could be us. It may be new tech or quite possibly reversed engineering tech. It's hard to say. I did look for other notes, other stories to add into this. Maybe there is some out there, and I'm just not searching properly for it. If you're listening and you're familiar with this case, let me know. Let me know. I probably fucked up somewhere, and let me know if there's more to the story. I would love to have heard if he heard some like whining noise of it coming down, because because the propellers would need to be they couldn't have been enclosed. They would have needed to be out and about to get the lift. But there is stories of people having made engines from like huge magnets. And could this be us? And we've made some fancy tech with magnets. Magnetic motor. I pulled this up because this could have something to do with this case. A magnet motor or magnetic motor is a type of perpetual motion machine which is intended to generate rotation by means of permanent magnets in stator or rotor without external energy supplies such as a motor. It's theoretically as well as practically not realizable. The idea of functioning magnetic motors has been promoted by various hobbyists, and it can be regarded as pseudoscience. Okay, but there is genuine evidence of these motors actually working out there. You do have to search, but there is genuine evidence of these motors actually working out there. There are frequent references to free energy. That's another, I will do a case of the magnetic and / free energy motors, and sometimes even links to esotericism. So, magnet motors are not to be confused with commonly used permanent magnet motors, which are powered from an external electrical energy supply. And I just thought that was a very interesting. Could this be? Could they have been working on a free energy sort of motor, a magnetic motor? Just I thought I would put that in there as well. It was on Wikipedia, so there is probably the free encyclopedia, which is probably run by the governments, and they don't want you to know about free energies. And I just thought I'd put that in there as well, just to to get the sparks flying out there. Hopefully, it's got your sparks flying. And to start, you need a small electrical generator to get it, and then the wiring is the magnets. Doing what the magnets do to one another in like a close in a closed capsule, maybe. I'm just spitballing ideas. I generally don't think this is alien. I would love it to be alien, and but I just don't think it was, and I don't think maybe they didn't want to risk killing a 78-year-old, taking him for a little flight, see how his body would have reacted to the G-forces in their rotting, decaying meat cellar. But that's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. You can get in contact with me. So many ways to get in contact with me. They are all in the description. Twitter, email, Facebook, YouTube. Get in contact with me and let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts. Definitely an interesting case. Definitely an interesting case. Now, because I knew this was going to be a short one. Again, I didn't want it to be a short one, but I did search. And I couldn't find much. Let me see if I can do another thing. So yeah, there probably is more to the story out there, but I looked and I couldn't find. I kept coming up with the same. It kept coming up with the same story, and because he's long gone now, bless him. Rest in peace, that brave old bugger. And I'm being sincere there. I am. I hope he is at peace and he got to the bottom of it. Now, while searching for this, this came up. UFO reports. So this is the year 2009 from the MOD website. It's so a couple of UFO reports I'm going to have a read. So this one was dated the 9th of January, January 09, 2009. Time not given. Town/village Porthcaw and Mid Gilmorgan. A diamond-shaped red light came towards him from the sea. Rear end of the diamond was a blue light. It was incredibly hot as it passed. Overhead, no sound. That's interesting. A lot of them are just short. A bright object. This was from West Yorkshire. A silver disc-shaped light seen for 2 minutes witnessed was in the lounge. So I'm just going to try and get a couple of lengthy ones. Lancashire. Town not given. Hold on. I was reading the wrong one. Not bad. Haslingdale/Rosendale, Lancashire. 4 or more moving bright solid orange lights, followed by a further 8 identical objects rose vertically over the side of the valley, made no sound. The 1st of January, there could have been, so this 1st of January, time not given, Wiltshire, a UFO. 1st of January, Stephen Hill, London, 2 bright lights / objects moving through the sky. Fireworks, maybe, because 1st of January. Could this, could this have been like at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 1 a.m., 5 minutes past 12? People celebrating New Year's Eve. Because this one, 1st of January, 10 minutes past midnight. So celebrations would be going off. 4 bright orange lights in a group. Sounds like a firework to me. But anyway, so this one was in Worcestershire, Malvern, 5th of January, a V-shaped formation similar to how birds fly of 7 lights moved rapidly across the sky, rotated slightly, then the lights split up and vanished. Lights were size and brightness of stars. No noise and no visible trails in the sky. And that was 7 o'clock on the 5th of January. So it would be dark at that time of year. I'll read a couple more. So 23rd of January, and this is 2 minutes to 9, Undy, Newport. Object had a large light on the front and a smaller red and green light on either side, as if one of the ends of the as if on the ends of a plane wing. Base was a perfect square and black in color. It made a quiet humming sound. To me, that sounds like a fucking plane. And the sound, quiet humming sound, how high was the plane? Was it low? Was it high? Was it mid? So I said that was the last one. I'll read one more because that does sound like a plane. This is in Bristol. This is at 11:05 at night. Large circle-shaped object, bright orange in colour, much bigger than any plane or helicopter, glowed brightly all over, was completely soundless. See, a lot of these are just the reports from the MOD. So people ring the police and I've seen an alien. I've seen a UFO. Oh,
I've seen an alien. I've seen a UFO.
this. So I'll read one, but this is what it'll sound. This is what would have come through.
A diamond-shaped red light came towards him from the sea. Rear end of diamond was a blue light. It was incredibly hot as it passed overhead. No sound.
Excuse me, sir. Can you tell me your name?
I can't tell you that.
That sounded pretty creepy, actually, that laugh. But yeah, it definitely interesting reads, these. Definitely interesting reads. And I'm going to finish off tonight with my... So at Watch Mojo. This is top 10 Reddit conspiracy theories that might actually be true. Now, when I searched this first off, I was looking for dirty/naughty conspiracies. And for the longest time, I was calling this my dirty/naughty conspiracy list. And it's not. It's the first one that had dirty in it. And that's the only reason it came up. But we are at number one. And some of the honorable mentions, Watch Mojo. I used to watch Mojo all the time. I used to watch Mojo all the time. And the only reason I watched it was because of Rebecca Bryant. Beautiful woman. Absolute beautiful woman. So, some honorable mentions before I get on to number one. 2018 Hawaii false alarm was a test for no nukes is good nukes. Frozen, the name is a cover-up. Pay no attention to the frozen Walt behind the curtain. Banksy is Jamie Hewitt. All right, I don't know. They're not very honourable. So anyway, number one, UFOs are flown by future humans. Now this has been going around in the UFO community or UFO fellowship. Could this be possible humans? Because a lot of abduction tales do focus around either taking samples of sperm or eggs from women. And there's been a lot of stories of people, coming in contact with alien human hybrids that could possibly be their children. A couple of them stories, which in a later episode I will delve into them cases. But this is number one. UFOs are flown by future humans. As we've seen, plenty of theories abound about aliens and the UFOs, but one that's been gaining a lot of traction on Reddit is the idea that the crafts and creatures that some believe exist and originate from elsewhere in the universe actually originate from Earth, from the far future. It would certainly explain why the popular images of aliens look so much like we do, and why so few UFOs have been spotted from space. They never had to leave Earth's atmosphere. By traveling back in time, perhaps these future humans are trying to investigate their past to solve some future crisis or stop it from happening altogether. So, a typical alien you hear of is the short grey, or just the grey alien, which is generally a 4 foot, in between 3 to 4 foot tall, slim, very, slim bodies. Doesn't look like they've got any sort of muscular feature, whatever, but an oval shaped head, a big head with big eyes. Maybe these future humans have relied on technology so much that we don't need the bodies, we don't need muscles. Is a genuine that generally does go on in this conspiracy, in this theory, that we may not need the physical side of our bodies anymore, but our brains have just developed, and our technology is developed with long our brains. Could they have been coming back for Elon Musk in his Neuralink technology? It's a possibility, but there's a couple of these, so there's a couple on this list. I will keep this list up, but I really need to do a deep dive and give you a couple of episodes on. The Roswell incident, definitely. Area 51 is a decoy. The first cosmonauts in space never returned. That's definitely strange case. And UFOs are flown by future humans, which I've heard, and you probably have heard as well. But anyway. I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. On the shorter side, let me know your thoughts. If there's, if I missed some out on old Alfred Burtoo, if I missed some out, I will definitely come back and dig it up and go over it again. You know, because that man was a brave SOB. He went on that ship. He had nothing to lose, and he went for it. And I would like to think I would probably do the same. But who knows? Who knows? We are human at the end of the day. I could probably fucking run like fuck. But yeah. It was definitely an interesting case file. An interesting case. It, like I say, I sort of knew of the story of the old man getting rejected by the kinky alien. Just didn't cut it. You know, she was maybe worried. The alien female was maybe worried he wouldn't get it up. You know, maybe erectile dysfunction or whatever.
My husband can't get it up.
And because it's definitely. Probably wasn't before Viagra, as we know Viagra. Viagra was probably about, but maybe they didn't really have time for make him swallow a couple of pills of Viagra. You know, it's one of them. Again, I do think it's us. I think we had maybe future tech, maybe crashed. Reversed engineered alien tech, but I think I generally think that case is us. Again, let me know if I've missed anything out. Please do. I won't be offended. You know, obviously, if you're going to be nasty about it, then yeah, maybe I might be a bit offended. But you know, internet's going to internet at the end of the day. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you are watching these on YouTube, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Smash that like button. Possibly think about subscribing to me as well. That would be fucking amazing. You guys are legends. Whatever podcast provider you are listening to this, please hit that follow button. Please leave me a review. That would fucking help a huge amount. It really would. And if I do get a review, I will read it out. Hopefully that doesn't put you off leaving me a review. But yeah, or if you want to get a shout out and go to my Facebook page, which will be in the show notes or / description, and I will shout you out. You know, I'm happy to do so. Again, I hope you enjoyed this episode. On the short side, I know I have a new toy. It's like one of them roadcaster things, and I want to be. I'm going to be playing about with it later on tonight or tomorrow, and have a good old go on it. But yeah. So sorry about the short episode. I'm more blurb about myself.
God, talk much about yourself?
I am doing another podcast. This is called At the Gates of Pop Culture. And this is going to be a podcast. It's going to be going over the news, entertainment news. We're going to be having a laugh. We're going to have a laugh at some of the woke nonsense. We're going to have a delve into some of the pop culture news. Film reviews, trailer reactions. It's going to be that sort of podcast. We're going to tear into the woke nonsense, because we are in a pop culture war. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. So that's going to be every other week, unless you guys really want it, and I could maybe put it to a weekly show. But this is my main podcast. This is my main show. I love this show. I love doing it. I love what I do at the minute. And I love it. And I hope I entertain some of you. If no one listens, I fucking still love doing this. If 100 people listen, I still love doing this. No matter what, I love doing this. And that's the more important thing of it, is that I enjoy doing it. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to go enjoy this haze, Thatcher's haze, and maybe have another one or three. I hope you have a good rest of your day, night, morning, whatever time of day you're listening to. This has been Rare Eddie One Talks Podcast, episode 15. I've been your host, Rare Eddie One. Stay naughty, stay rude, but more importantly, stay fucking filthy. See you next week. Peace.